Art for me is a way of life, and the best way I can describe it is like if you were on a conveyor belt reaching for gifts or money. That's how my whole life has been since I started being an artist, and I started at the age of 5. The first thing that I created was a sketch of a penny. I drew the whole penny, Abraham Lincoln, the date, and I had to draw because I was being punished because I came from a large family and we were making so much noise in the house that my father and mother told us, get down in the basement and find something to do. And so when we went in the basement, I found a pencil and a roll of paper and a penny. So I said, I'm going to draw a penny. And it was the first thing that I actually focused on and created on this big piece of brown paper. So it was about 6 of us at the time, and when I started drawing the penny, all of us were really quiet. So my parents were wondering what's going on down there now. They're quiet. So usually when something happens, something gets broke or something, my father would say, "Who did this?" And everybody would say, "Gregg did it," and I would be in trouble. So when he came downstairs and he said he saw the painting, he saw the penny, and he said, "Who did this?" And I got kind of nervous. What have I done now? And everybody said, "Gregg did it," as usual. But I got a different reaction from it. It was a positive reaction. So it kind of set me on the path of being an artist. So from there, I started drawing in school. And around the age of 11, I entered this contest about drawing something for health and well-being. So it was supposed to be image of eating healthy. So I drew this really fat kid with a beanie cap on, and he had fried chicken and cake and pies all around him. And I submitted it, and it had a logo under it. Eating the right foods is healthy, but eating them the right way is healthier. And even though it was supposed to be only 7 words, they still took it. So there was a thing that we used to have in Newark called the drill team. And it consisted of these young girls wearing go-go boots and short skirts. And the group that was in our neighborhood was called the Flamingos. And they would parade down the street, and they would have these timbales playing the timbales, and they would have these steps coming down the street. And so all the boys were really interested in them because they had these short skirts on. So I grew up on Prince Street in the Stellarite Projects. And this is the street that they used to come down. So one day they were having an event at this old movie theater, which was transformed into NAACP um, place for events on Elizabeth Avenue. And the drill team was performing there. So me and my crew, we all got together and said, let's go see those girls with the stepping. So we went down there, we were watching the competition with the drill team, then the curtains closed, and when the curtains opened up again, I saw my drawing on the stage, and it was with some other drawings. And people started saying, isn't that your drawing up there? What's your drawing doing on the stage? And I found out I was in a contest, and I won. And I was in first place, and I won a Panasonic AM/FM tape recorder radio. So that was another influence for me to continue my art. So then the next thing I did, I entered this school that was located on West Petty Street. It was called the Bessie Smith Community Center. And we had an art teacher there named Miss Florence, and she was a great teacher, and so that helped me a lot with my art search. And moving fast forward, as I got older, I got married and I had children and I had to work. And I still wanted to do this art thing, so I saw this flyer for the Newark Arts Council. So I came down, I said, if I go into this Newark Arts Council, I know that I'm going to be around the right people. So I joined the Newark Arts Council as a volunteer. And the first assignment that they gave me was to go and gallery sit on Prospect Street down in Ironbound for an installation done by Willie Cole. And he had an installation that consisted of over 2,000 water bottles that were like chandeliers coming from the ceiling in the fire station gallery. So while I was sitting there, people were afraid to come in. Some people lived across the street and they didn't even know that it was an art gallery. So I had to start standing outside and begging people to come in. Sometimes even talking in Spanish, entrada, por favor, and just to get them to come in. One day a group of people came in and they asked me, who is this artist? And I had not a clue. So when they left, I discovered that there were some books about Willie Cole. So I read the books and I found out that he was an artist who worked from found objects in Newark. He was born in Newark. And so I had information. So I kind of turned myself into a curator while I was gallery sitting. I did that job for like about 2 weeks. And then I met who was in charge of the fire station gallery. And her name was Yolanda Skeet. And she asked me, what was I doing after I finished gallery sitting? And I said, probably painting somewhere. And she said, would you mind working here? And so I said, sure. So I started working there, and I worked there for like a couple of months. And then she came to me one day, and she said, you know what, Greg? Me and my husband are so happy with your work here, and we're so proud of you that anything you want, just ask for it, except for more money. And so I said, well, really, I need this space to paint this portrait that somebody commissioned me for 2 months ago. And she said, what do you mean 2 months ago? I said, well, I didn't have any place to paint it. And I was really like thinking about painting it here. And she said, oh, no, no, no. Me and my husband will give you a studio for 6 months. And I said, what? And she said, yeah, just come in tomorrow and my husband will give you the key. And we'll walk you through the studio. And so it was on Railroad Avenue behind Penn Station. And so while I was there, I said, I really need to use this time here, 6 months. How many paintings can I do in 6 months? So I loaded up on all these canvases, and she gave me an easel, and I already had paint and brushes. So I started painting 7 pictures at the same time. None of them related to each other. It's just that I had this catalog of images in my head that I have to put out. So, boom, number 1, the Piata Madonna. And over here, I'm painting a baby inside of a glass egg. Another one was abstract. And then one night, Yolanda asked me would I mind working at night. And I was just assisting her with some guests because her teacher came in from California. She's an artist, so her instructor came in from California. Then there was this poet who was going to be performing poetry. And I was just supposed to be there to make sure the chairs are straight. Are you okay? Do you need something to drink and stuff like that? And somebody asked me, what do you do? So I told them I was an artist. So there were paintings on the wall and drawings and sketches. And she said, oh, which one of these are yours? I said, oh, none of these. Well, where do you keep your work at? And I said, I have a studio upstairs. And so they said, can we go and check it out? And I said, sure. But let's wait until this event is over with. So the same meeting that I was assisting with turned into that style of a meeting upstairs for me. So all of the guests who were there to see these guys from California followed me upstairs to my studio to see my artwork. And the thing about that studio is it kind of goes back to when I was a child, because the first thing that I drew was a penny. And then the first chance that I had to really be creative in my own world in that studio was that studio. And on the floor was a large penny screwed into the floor.
Wow.
And it was like, wow, look at that. That was like the first thing I seen. And you know, when I got that studio, I had to sweep it out and clean it up and everything because it was like not used by anybody. But the penny was there on the floor, you know, so it was like a complete circle. Um, After I finished those paintings, I got in touch with this place behind me, WBGO. And I said, I wanted to know if I could display my paintings here. And they said, well, you just can't bring them in. You have to put them on the JPEG. You got to send us an image. And I said, oh, technical stuff. Then I went to Algira's, and they told me the same thing. So I was telling Yolande one day about the problems of trying to get my work on display. And she said, well, I'm going to Sweden for 2 months, and you could just have the gallery. And I said, wow, look at that. So I had the gallery, the fire station gallery on Prospect Street by Iberia's. And I had these 7 paintings to put on display in this huge gallery. And I said, I need more paintings. I need to fill this place up. So one of the things that I did when I was working in the gallery was hanging other people's artwork. And they all thought I was a janitor, just helping out, until they saw me drawing. Then they wanted to introduce themselves. So I got to know a lot of people down in Ironbound, and I stayed connected with them. And I met somebody that worked at the unemployment office as well. And she told me her son was coming in from Oklahoma, and he's a photographer. In essence, I had the gallery filled up with artwork from Brazil, artwork from Newark, artwork from Oklahoma, in a matter of 3 days. And then my friend over here, Ms. Moulton, she came from City Hall to support me. The people from Newark Arts Council came, and it was a really lovely event. So like I said, art is important to me because it's like a continuous trip through the art world, you know. And those same people in Ironbound asked me to be in to present some artwork for them on Edison Place. And when I went to retrieve my painting, they told me that I can't take it because it's in a contest. And so then when the results of the contest came, I won 3rd place out of 240 submissions. Secondly, they had another contest, and they said, this time if you want to be in it, you have to paint something from Portugal, concerning Portugal. So I painted this celebration that they have in Portugal. You see how these lights are here? In Portugal, they have umbrellas hanging over the buildings from one side of the street to the next, and I painted that. And the councilman down there told me that when he saw that painting, it almost knocked him off his feet.
Amador.
Councilman Amador.
M-A-T-D.
And his assistant, Claudia Garcese, told me that that painting almost knocked him off their feet because last year he went to Portugal and he visited that street that I painted. Oh. So that contest, I won 3rd place again. So I thank you for your time, and art is important.